Amara was the oldest of 5. 4 more kids came after her, and right from the start it felt like the whole family rested on her shoulders. Her parents? Everybody in the neighborhood talked about how strict they were. Not just strict, really strict. They loved their kids, no doubt, but that love always came with a side of fear. They worried about the world, bad influences, early pregnancy, disgrace. All those things kept them up at night. So they built these invisible walls around their children, Amara especially. Her dad always said, "You're the first child. If you mess up, the rest will follow." Her mum would chime in, "The world isn't safe. Stay inside. Focus on your books." So Amara didn't visit friends. No parties, no hanging around after school. As soon as the bell rang, she went straight home. Same story during holidays. She barely left the house. Her siblings got the same treatment. The house was peaceful, sure, but way too quiet. The kids respected their parents, but fear was always there, hiding underneath. They couldn't talk freely, couldn't share what they were going through, couldn't admit when they messed up. So they just obeyed, stayed in, bottled everything up. Amara grew up protected, but honestly, she wasn't prepared for much outside. When she finished secondary school and got into university, the whole family was proud. Their first child heading off to get a degree. Her parents still tried to stay strict, but they couldn't watch her every move anymore. For the first time, Amara tasted freedom. At first, she managed it. She went to lectures, turned in her assignments, kept out of trouble. Her grades were solid. She was focused. Every weekend, she called home. "I'm fine," she'd tell them, and she meant it. Until 200 level. That's when she met Victor. He was bold, confident, smooth-talking. He spotted how quiet she was right away. "You're too serious," he teased one afternoon. "Life's not only about books." No one had ever said anything like that to her before. No one had ever really noticed her. They started talking. For Amara, it was exciting, new, sweet, and a little bit dangerous. She didn't know how to set boundaries or handle the attention. No one had ever taught her. At home, relationships were off limits. Feelings weren't discussed. Boys weren't discussed. Everything was just, "Don't do it." And now she was on her own, free but clueless. Victor quickly became her world. But Victor had his own secrets. He smoked, took drugs, got involved in online fraud, pressing phone, as they called it. Money only showed up when a client sent something. Most days, he had nothing. At first, Amara looked the other way. Then the abuse started. The first time he slapped her, she was stunned. He apologized the next day, blamed stress, even cried. She forgave him. The second time, he shoved her during an argument. She hit the wall. Her arm ached for days. Again, he apologized. Again, she forgave him. She didn't know any better, and she was too scared to tell her parents. In her mind, if she did, they'd just judge her. They'd yell. They'd say, "We warned you." That fear kept her quiet. Victor started relying on her for money. When he was broke, she fed him, bought him things, even dipped into her school fees to fix his problems. "I'll pay you back," he promised, over and over. He never did. Her parents kept sending money, believing their daughter was still focused and doing well. "Make us proud," her father always said. Guilt ate her up inside, but she hid it. By 300 level, she was missing classes, skipping exams, and falling behind on fees. Her grades dropped. Still, she couldn't bring herself to tell her parents. At home, mistakes weren't discussed. They were punished. So she suffered alone. Victor only got worse. He insulted her, called her names, beat her, and still collected money from her. She felt trapped. By 400 level, things were really bad. She owed the school almost $1 million. Then Victor just left, blocked her, and disappeared. Everything she sacrificed meant nothing to him. When her parents finally learned the truth, their disappointment broke her. "How could you do this?" her father asked, barely above a whisper. Her mother just cried. But in that moment, something else clicked. Amara had made mistakes, but her parents had too. They protected her so much, she never learned how to protect herself. They built walls of fear, not trust. If only they'd been a little less strict, if they'd made room for honest conversations, if their kids weren't so scared to speak up, maybe Amara would have talked about Victor earlier. Maybe she would have asked for help. Maybe she could have gotten out before things got out of hand.
Here's something parents need to hear. Kids shouldn't be afraid to speak up. When you're strict but never friendly, your house goes quiet. Lay down rules but never bother to really talk. You just end up with secrets. Sure, protecting your kids matters. But protection without trust? That's a recipe for trouble. Take Amara, for example. She didn't graduate when she was supposed to. She came home empty-handed, no certificate. The shame? It felt like a weight on her back. Her younger siblings saw it all, and honestly, they'd grown up scared to speak too. But after watching Amara struggle, their parents changed. Slowly, but they did. They started listening. They tried to open up. They realized you can't call it love if you never talk. Time rolled on. Amara's siblings got into university, graduated, moved on with their lives. Amara stayed where she was. She worked odd jobs, cried herself to sleep more times than she'd admit. Regret clung to her. "I wasted my time," she'd whisper. But one day, she drew a line. She decided her story wouldn't end in shame. She went back to school. It was rough. She was older, sometimes sitting next to classmates the same age as her siblings. It felt awkward, but she'd learned a thing or two by now. She kept her head down, stayed away from trouble, remembered her own worth. It took years, a lot of them, but she made it. She finally graduated. The day she put on that graduation gown, she cried. Not because she was first or the best, but because she just didn't quit. She'd lost a lot of time. Her siblings raced ahead. Sometimes the regret still stings. But she built her life back up. And here's what she learned. To young people, love isn't supposed to ruin your future. Abuse isn't love, no matter what anyone says. If you're hurting, speak up. Don't let fear steal your voice. To parents, don't be so strict your kids are scared of you. Give them room to breathe, but keep an eye out. Guide them, but listen too. Make your home a place where they can talk about anything. Mistakes, love, fear, confusion. Because when kids are too scared to talk, they suffer alone. And silence can wreck a life. Amara's story says it all. Just because you're delayed doesn't mean you're denied. You can fall, you can lose years, feel regret. But as long as you're still here, you can get back up. The past can slow you down. It doesn't get to stop you.